Hello, the title of this teaching and learning initiative is Conceptualizing UDL with the Student Voice. IT Sligo is the institution progressing this initiative, and let me give you an introduction to the team. I am Maureen Harn, a lecturer in the Department of Social Science and the project lead. I have a strong commitment and experience in the UDL initiatives within IT Sligo, as I have been at the forefront of laying the foundation of the UDL framework within our institute, and have worked closely with the Centre of Enhancement in Teaching and Learning on all of the UDL initiatives to date. Currently, I lecture on education-based programs within the institute, and I'm also completing a PhD in education with a focus on inclusive educational practice in Ireland's higher education institutions, using UDL as an effective teaching and learning framework. My colleague, Dr. Shelley Brady, joins the team and has worked as an educator in a diversity of settings. Always interested and driven by ethical evidence-based practice, Shelley went on to work as a teaching fellow in Queen's University. She now works in IT Sligo as the disability officer. Also joining is Dr. Ellen McCabe, who is an instructional designer at the Institute. Ellen's work is support-based in the Centre of Online Learning and the development and delivery of online learning and learning platforms. This team comes together under the guidance of Dr. Niamh Plunkett, Head of Teaching and Learning at IT Sligo. Niamh has been instrumental in driving the UDL initiatives within the Institute and has successfully ensured the carryout of key deliverables of previous SATL funding, and has fostered effective teaching and learning CPD that has embraced the UDL framework. Overview of the proposed initiative. The proposed initiative includes key three areas that will address the process and effectiveness of previous UDL development projects with the central focus being the student experience. The student voice will be captured through the data that will be furnished from the thematic analysis derived from focus groups, which will serve as the means to communicate their UDL experiences. To conceptualize is to understand something fully, and the initiative will conclude with a conference that will see the significant involvement of students in a conference inviting colleagues within higher education to conceptualize or fully understand the importance of meeting the diverse needs of students by including students in the teaching and learning process. What is the importance of this initiative? Well, to date, UDL initiatives within IT Sligo have been developed to improve the strong learning student experience within higher education through streams of CPD programs developed for educators. However, how do we know how effective these have been? And more importantly, how can we include the main ingredient being the student going forward? The key deliverables anticipated at the heart of the UDL principles lies a student-centered teaching method and learning approach, where the goal is to lead students to self-regulate their learning. Within this, the educator still serves as the authority figure, but our function is the facilitator or guide on the side, allowing students to assume an active role in the learning process. The key deliverables of this initiative will impact those who teach and those who learn through the following. Best Inclusive Practice Toolkit publication. In looking back to move forward, the collaborative Best Inclusive Practice Toolkit will connect the deliverables from a previous SATL funded project, which has informed this proposed student-centered initiative. This toolkit will serve as a guide and context to the next natural progression of previous developments and how it has served as a mechanism to enrich our students' collective learning experience. Capturing the student voice through communication pathways. Putting the student-centered method of teaching approach into practice, the UDL team will work alongside students to allow them to lead the initiative with their voice and be the objective support platform, capturing their collective experience. This approach to student success will impact those who teach. Student-led conference, Conceptualizing UDL with the student voice. Those who learn will be at the center of this conference and will be supported to collaborate on the process, which will impact their learning and provide an authentic platform to share best student inclusive practices. Mindful of the initiative criteria, I'd like to address the teaching and learning initiative type that we seek to address and our commitment within this frame. Specifically, we propose to devote our efforts to Teaching and Learning Initiatives 5.1, Teaching and Learning Initiatives Type 001, focus on supporting and highlighting the value of teaching and learning enhancement within higher education institutions. The Best Inclusive Practice Toolkit responds to identified needs of higher education institutions, specifically from those with responsibility for driving teaching and learning enhancement at a local level. We seek to provide an opportunity for those who have had limited engagement to date by including our students in this initiative. The UDL Working Group team play a fundamental role in seeding a number of learning enhancement projects. IT Sligo commits to selecting the student success as a chosen strategic priority of the National Forum. SATL project funding will be promoted to support staff in engaging with teaching and learning enhancement initiatives, particularly among those staff and students who are new to such engagement. The Conceptualising UDL with the Student Voice initiative will create partnerships. The focus groups that will be conducted will establish the starting point for this partnership, and the student-led conference on UDL student experiences will further this. As the students invited to engage in focus groups are from a range of programs across the Institute, the objectives of this initiative support and connect staff and students who are involved in learning enhancement projects across the Institute. The initiative results will be a showcase of UDL SATL-funded LEPs within IT Sligo and will disseminate the range of approaches taken and the key outcomes and learning through a publication of a Best Inclusive Practice Toolkit, which will elaborate on how LEPs are identified and supported and how the sustainability of their impact is supported. Also shared will be the insights on how engagement with teaching and learning enhancement was promoted and supported and how impact was achieved, which can be disseminated through the National Forum. I thank you very much for listening to this presentation.